Hi, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Tony Northrup.
And welcome to our show, News, Reviews, and Booze. And this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to make your professional website or portfolio. If you want 10% off when you sign up, just go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the promo code
Photo News.
Photo News.
Yeah, thank you, Squarespace.
So let's go to our first segment. It's a news segment called The Scoop.
The Scoop.
What's your scoop, Tone?
Fuji announced the new X-T1, which is supposed to be out in March. This is their high-end mirrorless camera, so it's kind of a competitor to the Olympus OMD E-M10. Should be like rugged and weatherproof, but compared to the E-M1, it's going to have an APS-C sensor. So a bigger sensor, better image quality, but you don't have that wide selection of micro four thirds lenses. Instead, you'll be limited to the Fuji lenses, but it has a pretty good variety.
Sounds great. Are we going to be checking that out?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll try.
Okay.
I got some news for you.
What's your news?
Get this. Leica came out with a limited edition camera. It's the monochrome M. The M monochrome that we reviewed. Yeah. But it's like a limited edition one by Ralph Gibson, a very famous photographer. Guess how much it's selling for?
Well, the regular, really it goes for about 8K, I think, or 6K. I forget. It's like 10K with a lens.
This one comes with a lens.
Okay, so normally 10K.
$28,000. They made 35 and they're sold out. They sold out right away.
Who bought them?
Rich people. Rich people.
I want to get that customer list just so we can start selling them stuff.
Yeah, maybe they'll buy my spiked cider for that.
Yeah, we'll gold plate a stunning digital photography, or maybe we can just stick a Leica logo on there and they'll give us 10 or 20K.
Maybe Ralph Gibson will sign it and then people will want it.
Well, we can sign it as Ralph Gibson. Who knows what his signature looks like, right?
Forgery, not that bad.
I'm not beyond that.
I have some other cool news. Mm-hmm. A very special camera is being auctioned off. It's the Hassie that went to the moon.
Oh, no kidding.
They're expecting that it's going to sell for anywhere between like $200,000, $300,000.
Oh, Hasselblads are expensive, but that's
this one has been to the moon.
Yeah, it's traveled better.
I mean,
than
that's really special. It could have moon dust on it. You don't know. You know how expensive moon dust is?
Yeah, by the pound, pretty expensive.
It's not.
It's hard to get, though.
I want to get to the point in my life where I can just go to an auction and be like, that camera went to the moon. Of course I'll spend $200,000. Forget a house. Moon camera.
Well, speaking of Hasselblad, they announced another Sony knockoff. This is a knockoff of the A99, but it's made with like nice metals and leather and wood and stuff.
Wait, Hasselblad's coming out with a knockoff?
Yeah, so they've done this a couple of times. They'll take a Sony digital camera and then they just make it prettier and they make it with nicer materials and they charge like 3 times more. It's crazy, right? And I think they're completely diluting the Hasselblad brand.
This is just like when Ford took over Aston Martin and then put the F-150 parts on the dash.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I had like a Home Alone type reaction.
Though this is literally just the Sony camera. No differences except like the build and touch stuff. Like, no, not a better sensor or focusing system or anything like that. Just identical.
Well, you know what, Tony? People want to throw their money away and I'm going to be there to take it one day.
Yeah.
Oh, I have some good news that's not going to make anyone be like, that's crazy. I want to announce the winner of our January photo challenge. It was a black and white photography challenge, and the winner was Bill Peppas.
Yeah,
and the name of his photo was Shipwrecked in Grayscale Waters, and it was so beautiful. Check it out.
Yeah, nice long exposure on that one.
He won a t-shirt. If you want to enter yourself in the challenge, like Bill Peppas did, go to sdpcommunity.com, go to the pictures menu. From there, go to the photo challenges menu, and you can enter your picture. And if you win, I write you, and I'm like, woo, good job. I give you a little trophy on our forum, and I'll send you a free t-shirt. Pretty sweet deal. Plus, bragging rights. So thanks, Bill. That was a really good picture.
And in other mirrorless news, Sony announced the a6000, which is going to replace both the NEX6 and the NEX7. So they're kind of combining those two cameras into one higher-end camera. Basically, it's going to have the same sensor as the NEX7, but with that phase detection focusing system from the NEX6, so best of both worlds.
That sounds pretty exciting. Maybe we can get our hands on that.
Let's hope.
We keep contacting people, but they're like, you guys are losers. But you know what? We're going to hit 100,000 subscribers soon, like next week. And then that's exciting, and maybe people will care. Maybe they won't, but I have hope that they will.
There are also rumors about a Panasonic Micro Four Thirds camera that I'm really excited about, the G4K. That 4K stands for 4K recording, which is like 4 times the resolution of 1080p. And I just want this bad. I don't plan to publish stuff in 4K, but I want to be able to take that camera and then pan and zoom while keeping that camera on a tripod. It just will provide so much more flexible editing. So it's just a rumor yet, but we've seen pictures of it, so I'm pretty confident it's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to cost, but stay tuned.
Our next segment is called Chit Chat, and we take questions from you from YouTube and answer them here. And none of you read them, so you just keep asking the same questions.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read this question from my phone here. Rick Hinchcliffe writes, "Is she really with him? OMG." And Chelsea wrote, "I know, right? He's so handsome, smart, and sweet. I can't believe I get to be with him either." He writes back, "Touché. I was judging how you deserve better. Looks like he's 25 years older than you."
Oh my God, I'm 15.
So yeah, somebody writes, "If he is, then she's 15. This guy is a cool semi-genius."
Not completely.
"Who with his wife is going to teach me how to use my camera and equipment before I'm too old to hold the camera steady. As John Denver would say, this couple is far out."
We are far out, and you know what? Also, I kind of feel like none of their business. So what that you're 75 years old, okay? I've been wanting to take care of an elderly man my whole life, and you made that dream come true. And I love you, sweetie.
I'm 115 years old.
I got a question. Mine's also on my phone. We're with the future. This one's important. This is from Millie Williams. He said, "I've watched every video, even ones that were way too long, so I apologize if my comment/question is considered too long. I just don't understand why every other comment or question was answered except mine. Like I said, I had to teach myself everything else, so I guess this will be no different." Millie, that sounds really sad, and I feel sorry for you, but here's the truth. When you comment on YouTube, there's no reply button, so there's no way to reply to you. And I've noticed this with some of our other commenters too. You got to check your settings and make sure people can talk to you, or else nobody can answer your questions. So we're not leaving you out on purpose, Millie. You don't have to be so sad. Just check your settings and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, it's just since YouTube changed over to the Google comments, I don't know why you can't reply to some comments. You can't do like 80% of comments, but then like 20% you just can't. And I feel bad. They ask legit questions.
I blame Google for Millie's sadness.
Yeah, Google, just because you provide this unlimited bandwidth to us for free and give us advertising revenue and this amazing infrastructure, sometimes we can't click reply.
How dare you, Google? All right, now that we're done mocking every person on Earth, Tony, this is going to go over real well.
All of Google.
I can't wait to see the comments.
It's the most powerful company in the world.
I can't wait to see the comments on this one. Let's start talking about our gear, because that's why we're all here.
So continuing the mirrorless thread, we got a new camera in. This is our first Micro Four Thirds camera. This is the Olympus OMD E-M10. This is a beautiful little camera. It's the third mirrorless camera in the OMD series, which is Olympus's answer to all those DSLR users who just feel like the DSLR is too big and heavy. They want to travel light. Not only are the bodies smaller and lighter, but the lenses can be smaller and lighter too. This is not a Micro Four Thirds lens. This is an old Canon FD lens that I have on an adapter. And that's my favorite thing about these mirrorless cameras is you can slap on 35mm lenses, any type, even really old ones with like manual focus and aperture rings, and you don't lose infinity focus or anything. They work just as they did on the original camera. It's cropped. So it's actually cropped 2 times. So this 50mm lens is like 100mm.
I got a chance to look through it, and it looks great. It's cool to use. I haven't used it a lot, but
we got it hours ago.
We just got it, literally, I think like an hour ago. But it's great. I can't wait to review it. And we've been talking about putting more mirrorless cameras in our buying guide.
Yeah, we're gonna cover.
And this will be we're gonna cover this, and we'll have a video for it. So you'll have to stay tuned. Maybe you could subscribe and get an email when it's out. That's up to you.
Yeah, but I think it's a great choice. The camera itself only costs about $700, and the mirrorless Micro Four Thirds lens system is just great. There are just so many lenses, zooms, primes, specialty lenses, everything that you can pick from.
What else do we have here?
I just brought out my AE1 because I just wanted to point out just how
they look similar
these things look. Now, Olympus made cameras that looked a lot like this during the late 70s, early 80s too, but it's kind of uncanny, right?
I love how small this is.
Yeah, it's even smaller than these old 35mm SLRs. So attached to this, I have an FD to micro four thirds adapter, but here I have an adapter that will allow me to attach my modern Canon lenses. And this one's a little cool because it has an aperture ring built into it.
That is a little cool. Can I play with it?
You can play with it. I'm sure people would rather see it in your hands than mine.
My hands are like ogre hands, and men love that.
So they need that because the modern lenses don't have the aperture rings on the lenses like the older ones do.
Oh, very cool.
And for $50, you don't get electronic translation between this camera's electronics and the Canon lens electronics, so it's all just mechanical.
This is squeaky.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. We've never used it before, but it seems like...
Maybe it's quieter when it's away from me a little bit. All right, what else do we have? Show me more. Oh, we just got this in about an hour ago as well.
You hold it. The Phottix Mitros.
The Phottix Mitros. So beautiful.
If you're into speedlights, this is awesome. They cost you about $400, which is more than the Yong nodes that I often recommend. But they have remote control capabilities built right into them, so you don't have to buy a separate remote control system. You don't have to worry about putting batteries into a separate remote control system. You have one set of batteries, nothing else to break, nothing to lose. You can control them either from the Phottix Odin controller directly on your camera, or you can just slap one of those flashes on your camera and control several other flashes. Sports TTL, high-speed sync, flashes, remote zoom. The system is really, really flexible. Anyway, I just like how it's all in one. So we're going to be doing a complete review on that. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. We're going to be comparing it against the other competitors, like the system that Yongno has coming out with the built-in remote controls, and of course the Canon 600 ERX.
And this feels really good too. I'll say it feels sturdy. Even Justin noted that when you're kind of changing it, it's nice and smooth and sturdy feeling. So I'm excited to try this. So I finally got a chance to set up my Squarespace portfolio.
Oh, good. Yeah, I saw it. It looks good.
It's chelseanorthrup.com. And I'm not 100% done. Like my about page just is one sentence. That's the hardest part, I think. But it was really easy. So I'm glad that I can report back to you that it was really easy. Like they said, I didn't need their customer support. I know they have it there 24/7, but it was just so simple. You change your template, you drag your pictures in. The hardest part is paring down your portfolio enough to just have 5 to 10 pictures in each category. But other than that, it was really easy.
Yeah, she has an in-house IT guy, me, and she didn't even call on me. I went ahead and handled the DNS transfer because we had chelseanorthrup.com through GoDaddy, and then I had to make it work so it would work. But that would have been no problem if you went ahead and got the domain from Squarespace, which you can do too. So they'll give you a name, or you can get your own custom domain name. All really, really inexpensive. I'm
actually not completely done tweaking it either because they had a bunch of different templates, and I had someone asking for my portfolio, so I threw it together and just gosh, it only took about 40 minutes. And then I just chose the best looking template at the time, but I'm gonna go through. They had a bunch more, check them out. It looks really good. I'm excited.
Yeah, and right away you put it together, it's gonna work on Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, Safari.
And I checked it out on my phone and it looked really good too, which is good because someone in my photography class was like, oh, you take pictures? And I showed them on my phone and it was easy and they came up right away, and the whole thing is scaled appropriately so you don't just get this huge picture or a tiny picture. It's great. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm glad our sponsor is cool.
Yeah, thank you, Squarespace.
People told us to ditch our sponsor and I was like, are you going to give me a website and then pay to make this show? And they said no.
So yeah, you're still in Squarespace. Good.
So guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. Oh, and you know what else I just learned? They have free e-commerce for everyone now. So I can set up a store. Actually, anyone can set up a store and you can just sell stuff. That's
you used to have to pay for one of their premium plans, but now you can get the basic plan. And you can set up your own store, sell prints, sell digital images. You could have people book portrait sessions with you and pay
that's true.
online
they could pay
in
right
advance,
on the site.
Or just put a deposit down. How nice is that for a portfolio?
That's
really easy
cool.
to set up. You don't have to pay for a merchant account or anything. They'll handle them linking it into your account. Works great.
That is great. So anyway, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for creating a fast and easy portfolio or professional website. So if you want that 10% off, go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the promo code
Photo News.
He's so good at that. You're so good at that.
I was on the spot there.
Whoa, you were like, whoa. All right, I think I know what we're gonna do next. we're going to review some photos, right?
I want to show off an iPhone app first. The app that I want to talk about is Sunseeker, and it just shows you where the sun is and where it's going to be. So what I like is the 3D view here. It uses the camera to show you the world around you and then plots on a chart exactly where the sun is going to be at different times of day. So you can see it'll be right there at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and you can like pan it around and get a nice view. So what that's useful for is if you're bringing out a portrait client and maybe you want to plan to have the sun behind their head kind of lighting up their hair and everything, you can find out exactly where on the horizon it's going to be so you can pick out a nice background. Anyway, it's cheap and really fun to use, and you can get it for iPhone and Android.
Tony, that was a riveting example of how that app works. You are so good at that.
I'm Sally from the internet and I can't figure stuff out. I want you to review my pictures. What do I do?
Okay. All right, Sally. This is what you do. Do you own our book or DVD series?
No, I don't buy stuff.
I don't even care about your life. Just kidding. I do. You can't.
Yeah.
So, sorry, but you can't. That's it.
But stuff should be free for me.
Okay. No, Sally, this is what you do. You own our book or our DVD series, so you have to register them. So email tony@northrop.org with your proof of purchase, and we'll register you to your group, and you'll become a member of our little family, sdpcommunity.com. You could enter our photo challenges. You can submit your picture for review. You get free book updates for life for the ebook version, and you are technically a stunner. We give you a bunch of stuff for free. If you don't own our book, don't yell at me, but we can't do everything for free for the whole world. You gotta pay $9. Don't cheap out on me. I worked too hard for this. So we said that our new update has 7 hours, but it actually has 9 hours. We do not have the update out for the ebook yet. The print version is ready, the ebook is not. We're still adding a ton of stuff to it. So just be patient, and if you registered your book, we will send you an email and make sure that you get your update.
Soon though.
What?
Soon?
Soon. Very soon. A few weeks.
All right, let's look at some pictures. Let's look at some pictures.
Yeah! What are we looking at? Carnation?
It looks like a cactus flower.
Oh yeah. I like that there are 3 of them and that they're gradually getting more out of focus.
Oh yeah, you know, I actually this was so out of focus that I didn't realize that there were 2 more back there.
Yeah.
I feel like the crop down here is a little bit uncomfortable though. I feel like this is just a little bit close to the edge since it's the focal point.
Yeah.
I like the black and white though. I think it's a good use of black and white.
Sure.
Here's a funny shot. It looks very candid.
Yeah, I like the colors.
Yeah, it's nice and bright.
Yeah, it's a nice rich photo. I like that their expressions are different. It's unusual. I like the background. It's nice and blurred. We could see that it's a city street.
I just like to try something like this in black and white. I think the colors are really nice, but it's so much like street photography to me, and that's traditionally done in black and white. I think it works both ways.
Yeah, you know what I like about it in black and white? That light on the brim of her hat.
Yeah, that line right there.
Yeah, the light's really interesting. I think it could go either way though, because the colors are interesting too, and their colorful outfits tell you a lot about their personalities. They're like bohemian, free spirits, just making
true.
fun of faces on a corner. I don't know, it's good.
Yeah, great composition. You filled the frame. You weren't afraid to cut into his hair a little bit, show enough context in the background there. All right, here we have a happy kid.
That's one bright, happy baby.
I'm gonna pull this in a little bit. I kind of wish it followed the rule of space a little bit more. It felt a little unbalanced to me because he was dead center, but he was looking off to the side.
That stick sticking up with no context of what it is bothers me.
Yeah.
He's not looking at it. I don't know what it is. It's probably some kind of baby weapon, just based on my experiences with babies.
Yeah, I think he's about to go kill Bill on whoever he's talking to there.
He does, yeah. But I do think that the lighting is nice, and there are a lot of nice things about this photo. I think that the focus might not be on his eyes, because his hat is really in focus. like the catch, the big, whatever that says, that seems to be the most in focus part of the picture.
Yeah, actually, as far I don't know. Well, the focus isn't too bad. It's a good picture. As always with kids, you got to clean up their mouth a little bit. I think just a little bit of retouching could be done.
Yeah.
We just looked at the cover of Scientific American Mind. Look it up if you can. They have a full picture, full cover of a close-up of this kid's face, and it has
Boogie nose.
all over it. Terrible. It's disgusting. Every kid, you got to go in, clean up the mouth right here and the nose. Chapter 6.
Chapter 6, boogie nose section.
So here we have a very nice portrait, and I love the crop. They filled the frame. The shadows are really nice too. Though, if you examine the catch light, you can see I would like to see the light lowered just a little bit, because the catch light's very high, and it's so high that most of the light here is much of the light is casting these deep shadows under her eyes. Don't you think you'd lower the light a little bit?
Yeah, but zoom in on her mouth. There's something like the edge of her teeth are glowing.
Yeah, it's almost like the picture has been sharpened.
Something's not right.
It's the opposite of what you'd want to do to skin. It looks like they've actually brought out the contrast in her skin. I don't know why that would be. David, did you sharpen this?
David, tell me. Wait. David?
David? Do you know David?
I thought so.
So I cranked up the noise reduction some, and I cranked it up too much.
Yeah, you did. Boo.
But she could use a little skin smoothing, and I think before it was actually artificially jagged. I lowered the light a little bit to eliminate some of these shadows underneath her eyes. And you know what? I'd have put some powder on her, maybe a little more powder. Don't you think the specular highlight here on her forehead is a little bit harsh?
It's
that
tough,
or just
man.
get a bigger light source.
Yeah, but you can get this, it's called HD powder. Actually, she probably already has powder, and you just need more makeup on camera. But there's something else about her expression is a little bit tense. The way she's holding her mouth, it's like shaped like a smile, but it's not. Her eyes aren't smiling, but her mouth is. That's not your fault as a photographer. You kind of have to just work with your models a little bit. It is difficult, but you did a lot right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice portrait.
Yeah.
The more nitpicky we get, the more of a compliment it should be. Because when something's like clearly wrong, if a horizon's not level, it's kind of a layup. When we start to really dig into the details, that means the shot's really good.
When we start talking about makeup, then this right away, glowing edges.
Yeah, some people like that look. I think it's a little played out. So this might be a little much. I think this is a great original picture, though. It might just be a little more HDR than I typically like.
I like the composition. I like the park in the foreground, and I like the angle that they got of the city.
And look at the beautiful light from the rising or setting sun here.
Yeah, the light is really beautiful. But my thing is, like, the haloing, for me, the processing is taking away from the scene. It's taking away from the picture.
I definitely feel like it's too much. I think you have some sensor dust showing up there, too.
Yeah, it's noisy and everything. I would just dial back the HDR. They did it with a Rebel T3i. Good for you.
Yeah, nice. I love that camera. All right, beautiful sunset picture. Boat crossing it. That's great. We have a focal point.
Some kind of boat race. I maybe take out that big pole in the middle. Yeah, you knew what I was talking about.
So that was a clumsy job, but I think that helps. And, you know, I feel like all of this might be a bit of a distraction. I think the focal points here are the boat and the sunrise. What do you think? Go for a rule of thirds up here or down here? Maybe down there?
I would like to see a little more of the mountains. Like,
oh, just extend this out? That gets to be awfully square. I don't know.
But I agree that maybe the picture was a bit busy before.
Yeah, there were some distractions in the foreground that I just felt were distractions.
You thought there were distractions?
They were distracting distractions.
Whoa!
This is a really pretty picture, and I think it's HDR again. This one, I think it's cool, but it doesn't feel distinctly overdone to me.
I think it's cool. It's very HDR, but I don't think
Yeah.
that it's taking away from the scene. I didn't think about HDR before I thought about the subject matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the light here is really cool.
The light
The
is
HDR
cool.
brought out the texture in the sky, so I think that's nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like that it's kind of a simple shot too.
Compositionally, I might have included a little bit less of the ground, unless there were flowers down here or something. I like the inclusion of the ground. I just might tilt it up because I think the sky might be more interesting. All right, first thing, level that horizon. I won't be able to sleep at night until it's straight.
I know, that really bothers you. Well, those are beautiful God rays. I can see why they like the picture.
Yeah.
But I think that the stuff in the foreground is really distracting.
Yeah, because we can't see the whole object. It's just kind of jutting in. The colors are nice, though.
It's taking up as much of the picture as the sky, which is the subject.
Yeah.
Why don't you try to, let's crop around. Crop around.
Crop around.
See what happens. These are things you can do in camera, preferably, so take a bunch of shots and play around.
Yeah, and I know how it is when you get God rays. You can't just immediately find just a beautiful spot. You have just a couple of minutes to take a picture, so you pretty much take a picture where you are. This is a situation where, being out on this pier might have provided you a better viewpoint, or being somewhere else, because we have all these distractions here. But I know, it's a fleeting moment. I think you probably did the best you could with the situation. Looks like there was a little HDR in that too. It's HDR day. Oh wow, what a nice picture.
I think that this is Giselle's picture.
Is it Giselle?
Yeah,
She
and
does
I
a lot
really
of
love
street
this
photography.
picture.
I do too. I love the inclusion of the sun coming in here and the backlighting on these girls. Just beautiful. What a great moment.
Yeah, it's a great shot. No
The
criticism.
processing is great too. Yeah, there's nothing I can add to that. All right, so here we have reflections of buildings and leaves. That's really nice.
I am going to be honest. I think it's been done.
Really?
And
I didn't feel like that
I
right
like
away.
John, and I hate to hurt anyone's feelings, but I feel like I've seen the leaves in the water with the reflections before. You haven't though, so it's just a matter of taste.
Yeah, but I just don't know that I've seen it with buildings. Like I've seen it with other trees and more natural environments, but I don't know. Either way, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think this has been done. I've seen the sun. I've seen clouds. It's like, how many suns and clouds can I see? I'm joking.
He's busting your balls.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I'm thinking about putting that sun a little closer to the upper corner. What do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, you said it, and I was like, why be so nitpicky? And then you did it, and I got it. You balanced the picture more.
Yeah, I'm actually, well, maybe I unbalanced it more. But
Really?
I'm violating the rule of thirds. It's actually past that edge, but sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's good to push it right into the corner. I think it's just a gorgeous picture. I love the monochromatic colors.
Yeah, I like that.
Other than a little crop, there's nothing else I would do. I'd be really proud of that picture. Oh, I want to know how to make star trails like this, where they look like meteors and they go from small to big.
I know how to do that.
How do you do that? Why do you never tell me?
Because some things are better kept secret. I like this picture a lot.
It's definitely, yeah, I like this picture a lot
Double
too.
watermark, though. Now he's just messing with me. Dennis, why are you doing it? Ah! What's the big thing up in the corner, though? Like the big light.
This one?
Yeah.
It must be the moon, right? But I agree that I don't think that's helping. I think
What's
it's
that
distracting
other
a little
big
bit.
one, though? Makes me a little nervous.
Oh, that one?
Yeah,
That's the meteor that's going to destroy Earth
that's what I was worried about.
and end all of humanity.
But I do love this, the reflections, and it's a really nice shot, Dennis.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, other than I think removing the moon, I think it's just fantastic. Just really gorgeous. Everything's perfect about it. This guy.
This is my bro. Put this bro in black and white. Let's hook him up. I know he doesn't really shoot with both eyes open. Let's just get that out there.
I still think that looks better, though. It's tough. I always take pictures of people taking pictures.
Me.
And it looks a little awkward when that eye is closed, but what else are you going to do?
Scrunchy face.
Yeah, scrunchy face sucks.
Are his eyes whitened? Or does he just have beautiful whites? He's been putting some crest white strips in those bad boys.
Yeah. I think his eyes are a normal color.
Yeah, well, I think black and white helps with this.
That contrast a little since we're now in black and white. What do you think? Better here or better here?
I like our edits, and maybe it's because it's us and we made them, but I like them.
You be the judge.
But you know what I like more? Scrunchy face.
Scrunchy face?
Mm-hmm. What are you laughing at? You didn't know I got casual over here, did you?
Oh, we just looked at this guy's portfolio.
Oh yeah, Capture King. I remember him.
He's got some club and stuff going on. I can see, look at that histogram. He dropped he blacks a little bit.
Remember you didn't like the KK. Capture King. One more K and things could get real weird.
I think I just pointed out that it would be difficult to spell. That people going to his website were gonna, unless they saw his watermark and knew it was spelled with a K. Like you can't go to a club and be like, hey, I'm Capture King, because somebody's gonna spell it with a C. So we have some ghosting going on. It looks like it's an HDR picture, but I think the ghosting works here. What do you think? Oh, 1/6 of a second. Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it's multiple pictures blended, or maybe it's just a long exposure.
I think it's a long exposure, but
maybe a strobe light or something. I'm trying to figure out why this guy has like 3 arms. But it's a cool effect. I like it. I like the processing. I'm trying to decide if I'd rather see a contrast here. What do you think? Fixing his, unediting his edits?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh no.
Oh, he's really cute.
Cute. He's angry. That's what I look like when I haven't had my coffee. This is a great picture. I like the blood on the beak. Ooh. What's not to like?
I don't think anything. I think it's really nicely done, perfectly sharp,
Maybe
especially with a zoom lens like that. That's just, he must have been really close.
he could use some noise reduction.
Yeah, I was looking at the noise too and trying to see if there was any way he could have, he or she could have gotten a lower ISO, but the settings are, really can't go any slower than 1/200th. And he could have opened up half a stop, but that probably would have reduced sharpness. So you could go in and do some manual noise reduction. That would be a lot of work. But I think it looks really good. I think it was a really nice job, and I like the crop on it.
I like the crop out of it too.
All right, this looks like some street photography. It's got that amazing Nikon D800E. Great contrast and color, just beautiful processing.
This picture is good, but so weird, right? Like, isn't there so much going on? There's like a panda face mask. No, I like the whole scene. I was exploring this picture. She's got a Prada bag, like a teddy bear on her face.
Yeah.
A mink coat. Everything's going on. There's a real story here, and I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Yeah, I love the contrast on it. I like it too. Nicely done.
These are the most wholesome people I've ever seen. If they're not from
Utah. Yeah. We spent some time in Utah, and those are some wholesome people.
They're like the healthiest, like just most beautiful people.
Yeah, this is a
and
really
they
nice
do
shot.
Not know how to make a martini. That's probably why they
one
look.
downside.
Anyway, back to this picture. Well,
a beautiful light, really nice
light,
pose.
Yeah.
Sorry the baby didn't wake up and pose for you, but that's a baby, right?
I know, babies are so uncooperative. That's why I don't want any.
The posing with the baby got a little awkward. Maybe they could have cradled the baby.
Well, it's a tough age.
Yeah.
Well, let's zoom out again. Is the crop, I like the inclusion of some background, but is it a bit too unbalanced?
Yeah, you're right. It seems like there's a bit much.
I do love that cool old machine back there. I get why they did it. I'm just wondering if it's kind of...
Well, I think overall the tighter crop works better as a portrait. I want to pull in a little bit more because of the awkward crop on the kid's feet.
Cut off the baby's feet. I noticed that.
I gotta go more. Sorry, I don't know.
I would include the baby's feet.
Include the baby, just go wider.
Yeah, and then... Yeah, because I like that machine back there too. I wouldn't cut off the guy's head, because that seems rude. There.
Well, it's a little tough. I can't fix everything with the crop, but what you could have done is just stepped a little bit to your right and put that interesting machinery, the most interesting element in the background, a little bit closer to them, so you could fill the frame and balance the frame. There's new sections in Chapter 2 of Stunning Digital Photography, the latest version, that cover balance and composition, and I think that would help you out.
I just did a little more processing on it, because they just look so sunny and wholesome. And
oh yeah, you just warmed it up a little bit.
I just warmed it up.
Nicely done, I like that.
I know, I'm pretty much, this is my job, so.
You're a pro.
So I'm pretty much a pro.
All right. Somebody went on a whale watching cruise. It's a llama?
A bird just got hit by a whale tail. I bet this is Rick's picture. You know Rick?
Rick.
We're buddies from the group.
Well, these pictures are tough. It'd be nice if we could see some eyes, right? But I've been on whale watching cruises. It's extremely challenging because that whale is only there for a few seconds, and you have like 50 people who all run to the side of the boat, and you have to like get your camera up and find it in the frame and then focus. So you did that.
Yeah.
Good work. Oh, what a little cutie. I gotta crop that though. Look at all this empty space over here.
I don't know. It might be working. I don't know, Tone. This cat's like into interpretive dance, I can tell. This is a really beautiful cat. Can you go back to the original? Really nice. Can you go back to the original crop just for a moment?
No, that's past.
Can we recreate that moment? Now, can we put it in black and white? Oh my God, that's one artistic cat. I like all of the negative space.
Really?
Yeah. But you know what's bugging me? That it's upside down, like my brain can't handle it. Because its eyes are so round, I keep trying to see it right side up. I know that's stupid, that's not his fault. It's not his fault his cat's face is made like that.
Oh, I fixed it for you.
My brain hurts.
Is that better?
No, give me 2 aspirin and let's go to the next picture. Oh my God.
Oh, out in the snow. That's really adorable.
This is cute. I would crop out. Yep.
Just a little bit, right? I love the woods in the background. I just want to see enough to know that there are woods in the background. And the light is so gorgeous. Yeah, looks better than the light on a snowy day.
And the snowflakes and the hair.
Oh, yeah. See, now we get to see more of the hair and the snowflakes.
Great picture.
I'd go with the original crop if you were going to make like a 4-foot wide picture. If you're going really big format.
Can we bring the shadows up just a wee bit so I can see some more of that beautiful hair? Baby hair. Look at that gorgeous baby hair.
Yeah, you're right. Little shadows help. Nice picture. Nicely done. Great moment.
Paul Crane, my friend.
That's cute.
I like bathing ducks. There's something, maybe too much vignette. Gotta be careful with that. Let's crop it off.
Oh, you just want to pull in tighter?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it close up.
What do you think? Just center it or?
Yeah, sure.
Center it?
Yeah.
Put it right at the bottom, show lots of that splash. Yeah, we're cropping a lot. today.
We get in moods, I think. Excuse me.
Yeah, though I do believe one of the most important compositional elements is just filling the frame with your subject as much as you can, but especially with wildlife pictures. And in fact, I wish this were even closer. I would love it if the flower went off the edges of the frame, but the flower and the light are just gorgeous, like the nice gradients. Maybe even a little bit softer light. That's cool. Look at you, you're teaching me something. I've never done that before.
You haven't? I call it disco flower.
She also went funky with that.
You can't stop me today. All right. I just made your picture really weird, and I'm happy with it.
I just want to demonstrate what I was thinking with this. Like, just letting the flower run off the edges of the frame and making the subject of the picture the gradients of light and how they kind of fall across the petals.
Yeah.
Though I might experiment with softer light too. Just hold a diffuser above it or move it into the shade or something. But great picture.
I liked it. We did some weird things back there, and I liked it. What's up here? What's with this? Playing the accordion.
Yeah, I'm shocked how slow the exposure is. 1/13 of a second, but it looks nice and sharp. It's really working that IS. Great, good street photography. Seems like a good moment.
You know what? I just like, all I can see are those Nike sneakers.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
They're stealing the show, but you know what? Maybe that's just the story.
Yeah, but I don't mind it. It actually feels like it balances it a little bit. And,
yeah.
You know, different rules apply to street photography, I think.
I think, too. Sometimes. True shots. Look at that reflection. Let's get in closer.
This looks like...
hooded merganser?
Oh, right. Every picture I've taken of a hooded merganser looks like this because he's leaving.
They're so shy.
They're so shy.
I was about 50 feet away from a hooded merganser, and I put up the lens, and they just all left.
Mm-hmm. Remember that time I made you go on the other side of the pond so you tried to scare them towards me?
Did it work?
No, it still didn't work.
Little bastards.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in.
It's beautiful. Great detail. I love the water droplets. Good noise. You could have gone with a slower shutter, definitely. You could have shot this at ISO 100.
Well, he lost some detail in the white part of the head.
Yeah,
Let's bring down the highlights and see if there's anything there.
We don't have the raw file, unfortunately, but actually it looks like everything's captured.
Yeah, everything's captured, so he could bring down the highlights in the picture.
Yeah, or especially around there. So I think everything's gorgeous. Watch the highlights, and I think this would benefit by raising the shadows too. With black and white animals, which are so common.
Yeah, high
hold down
contrast.
those highlights, raise up those shadows, especially if you can do it selectively. Make sure you shoot raw, and you got to have the bird either in direct profile or coming towards you a little bit. That means you just have to avoid scaring them because these birds are always going to leave. So you just have to hide and wait. You have to be patient.
Yeah, you do have to be patient. But I think it's a great picture. I like the reflections and the beads on its back and everything.
Oh, wow. We have a cake smashing picture. Really nicely done. Beautiful colors. I love the nice backdrop and the little set that they made there. Look, there's a butterfly. Yeah. Oh, the butterfly's attached to the hat. That's really cute.
Yeah, I like the styling and the colors and the brightness. It's so fresh and clean. My only complaint would be that I think the baby's face is a little bit overprocessed.
I was thinking that too.
It looks like a doll.
A little doll-like. The eyes are a little much.
Yeah.
I think, just in our opinions.
But I'd just say dial it back 20% and it would look more natural.
You know what? Does mom like it? That's the real audience here. So here they're clearly deliberately working the negative space.
Yeah.
You might have missed focus a little bit. When you shoot a shot like this, you want to focus on whatever the silhouette is going to be so that silhouette is nice and crisp. He exposed for the light source back here, which allowed him to make a perfect silhouette. I feel like silhouette could be a little more interesting though. Doesn't tell me a story or
The
anything.
picture's different. I've never seen anything quite like it.
No, and
So,
I actually like the
kudos
use
to
of
that.
negative space here. I would continue working with silhouettes and find some silhouette that tells a story.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. Thanks, Scott. Whoa. Oh, we know Napoleon. Nice picture.
Yeah, that's beautiful and incredibly detailed.
Yeah.
I do wish I could see the eyes a little bit more, but I think
Can we zoom?
stands. No, that's all I can zoom in. I think it's probably heavily cropped.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
Excuse me,
nice and
people.
sharp. Good picture.
Yeah, nicely done. Good settings too. Whoa. He's a handsome fella.
Yeah, cool watermark, too. That sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't. I like that it's simple. Yeah, there's a lot of texture and detail. Good picture.
Yeah, nice light too.
Is this Brendan Code's picture up next? Or I think he just has one just like it.
I wonder.
A Nikon.
So that's tough. It's very noisy.
Yeah, it's really noisy. What's going
Is that
on?
ISO
2500.
But 1/125th of a second, that might be where he needed to be. Maybe could have opened up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I do in a situation like this with an animal is I'll take that high ISO shot with a fast shutter speed, and then I'll drop the ISO and I'll drop the shutter speed until I just go slower and slower, and then at some point I'll be shooting at 1/30th of a second in a low ISO, and I'll just hold the camera as still as I can, and I'll take like 10, 20 shots if the animal's holding still. So I just keep going slower and slower, lower and lower ISO, and then I just pick the lowest ISO shot that I have that also happens to be sharp. So by taking most of the pictures and deleting most of them, sometimes you can get a shot that normally would be way too slow to hand hold, but you can get it nice and crisp.
Tony, while you were chatting, because this picture doesn't really have the detail to be completely about just being a close-up, like, detailed shot, but if you put it in black and white,
I love it in black and white.
And make it kind of hyper-realistic, then I think it works.
Yeah, I like that too. I might even go more with the clarity.
I think that's too much. I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. Just gorgeous. Nice long exposure, 6 seconds. Look at what it did to the water.
Yeah, I like the long exposures on
all the
water.
little waves kind of turn into a fog.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Is that not... Oh, yeah, there's a little lens dust or sensor dust, rather.
Dust. Yeah, you got to go in and clean it and then clean your sensor. It happens to the best of us. Check chapter 5.
Not me. Never happens to me. Just kidding. Well, let's go back to that rock, though. Is that blurry?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the focal point. That should definitely be sharp. But it can't be that blurry because the birds are not... I don't know. Maybe that wasn't what was focused on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he didn't focus here or if there's maybe a lot of noise reduction applied. There shouldn't be at ISO 100. Maybe, it's a long exposure. Maybe the tripod drifted just a little bit. It might have sunk into the sand.
But the birds aren't really, it doesn't look like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I also point out you got some crazy chromatic aberrations going on here. Look at all that green over there.
Yeah.
That's a property of your lens. So, using a high quality prime would definitely make that better. Oh, he's shooting at f/22. That's why f/22 high f-stop numbers will create a bunch of chromatic aberration. What you can do instead to get that long exposure is slap a neutral density filter on there. Then you can shoot at f8 or f11. Actually, that's probably why it's not sharp either. At really small apertures like that, really high f-stop numbers, everything gets a little less sharp because of diffraction.
I thought that things got more sharp. Because Ansel Adams would shoot at like f60 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, but he was shooting with medium format.
Yeah.
It's the small opening, just a property of the light traveling through it. It'll make everything a little less sharp.
Tony, you know some things.
I know some things.
You should do this for a living.
Let's see if Lightroom can remove some of the chromatic aberration. There we go. So I'm not sure if you can see it in the video. It's still there to some extent, but look right along the edge here. This is before, and this is after. I applied a little bit of chromatic
Yeah.
aberration. It's a little bit better. It was definitely distinct though, and this is such a nice picture. You'd want to get a big, huge print, especially with that crazy Nikon sensor. But it is worthy of a print. In fact, I'd go for a metallic print on this.
Yeah,
like
that'd
maybe
be cool.
even a print on aluminum. Search for aluminum prints and you can find a place that makes them. Oh, beautiful symmetry. Great colors. Really nice shot.
Cool shot.
Yeah, I almost want to see a little more. Oh, that ruined it. What can I do? What can I do to make this better?
I thought it was a
feel
bit
like-
underexposed as
Yeah.
well. Because the white on the building is not white.
Yeah, we want to see some white in there. So I'll just have to raise this up and then maybe raise the blacks. I don't know. I feel like I'm not getting the effect that I want.
I think that looks good.
I think it's better.
Yeah. See how dark that looks? And that looks nice and fresh.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you're
cool
right.
shot.
It was a little dark. Just check that histogram.
Check your histogram.
It's hard to tell on your monitor.
Oh, this is a cute
what a
picture.
beautiful portrait. That's really nice. Again, the light that you get from snow is so amazing. If it's snowing, I know nobody wants to go outside. Well, kids do.
The light is nice and soft and diffused.
All that snow on the ground just diffuses the light, bounces it back up. The whole world becomes a fill. This is done with one of those 50mm f1.8 lenses. Super inexpensive and a great way to get portraits, especially of kids, and blur that background. Nicely done.
Yeah,
Great color,
good job.
right? I
Yeah.
don't think I'd change anything.
It focused on her hair a little bit, I think, but
Yeah, you're right. I think that's one of the challenges of working with shallow depth of field. Take lots of pictures, delete most of them. So this, either it's HDR, they just raised up the saturation a bunch. And I think it might be a little much for my taste. What do you think?
it's a very pretty picture.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like larger than life, very very heavy processing, but I think it's a style.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great picture.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some improvements. I don't know that it necessarily needs any. You might have also tried it, moving a little over to the right and putting the sun behind the tree so the sun is coming through the leaves. Just something to try if you had the option of moving. Maybe there was an obstruction there.
Cool shot.
So that's No, that's obviously Paris. What am I talking about? Florence.
You thought it was the
Eiffel Tower.
Duomo.
I did, and then I'm like, I'm looking at the Eiffel Tower, stupid. Really nice shot. Nice long exposure. I wonder where they are. That's such a great shot.
Yeah, I was trying to think of where they could be too.
15 seconds. We got that Eiffel Tower all lit up. Do you think the yellows are a bit much?
No.
No? You like them?
The whole picture is oversaturated, and I think that's just like the style of the picture.
Yeah, I guess I was just feeling like the yellows and reds are a little much for my taste. Maybe everything's a little too much for my taste. Well, nicely done.
I liked
Great long
it
exposure,
before.
nice
Go back
and
to the
sharp.
original colors. There. I like that better.
Yeah, I really didn't like my changes much either. I hate myself. Great picture, and I appreciate your dedication of finding a good spot, planning it out, getting there with a tripod, waiting for everything, letting those lights go past. I knew that took some time, and it was worth it.
It was worth it.
Oh, wow. What a great effect. They took a long exposure and zoomed the lens at the time. So
everybody was doing that around Christmas time in our group.
This one looks really good.
It looks cool.
Really nice.
Very sparkly.
Nicely done. Good exposure. Nice and straight lines.
This one's interesting.
Vladimir. Yeah, I like this. It feels very solitary to me.
It is. It's lonely, but it's a nice picture.
And that ring, I think, is a really interesting element of storytelling.
Yeah.
I love the lighting over there.
He's married.
I think it's 0.3 seconds. He held still for a long time. I think it's a self-portrait?
Yeah, probably.
Great shot, Vladimir. I really like that. Really compelling. Probably the favorite shot that I've seen so far today.
I like those trees. They're like Lego trees or something.
Yeah, those are some strange trees. So we have traffic trails here, but we just saw this picture, which is similar. It's also a long exposure in a city with trails. I feel like this guy found a better vantage point, like a better view.
Yeah, this is a bit flat.
Yeah, and my eye just kind of wanders around. There's no particular focal point.
It's still good though. They got a good exposure and everything.
All the technical details.
You're doing everything right. Now you just have to find a more interesting subject.
Yeah, just plan the location a little bit. So we have a portrait with a painted canvas.
So
it's a little washed out, right?
Yeah.
So I'd raise that exposure up a little bit. Let's check the lighting here. Oh, yeah, I can't go in. Well, that's strange because they have front lighting, but they seem to be cross-lit. You see how the front of their faces are in shadow?
Yeah.
And most of the light is coming in from the sides.
See, there are you have a lot of shadows under their eyes and nose, and it tends to not be very flattering.
You know what I would do is, they clearly have some light. Looks like a little beauty dish or something. I'd crank that light up. You need like 4 times more power there.
Yeah. And then also, I feel like they have to step away from the background a little bit or something.
Yeah,
the background's very prominent.
You see how you can see the texture in the background? In fact, the background might be sharper than... Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, so a little more distance in the background will blur that background and make it look a little bit nicer. But you also need to use a higher f-stop.
Because you have one person kind of in focus, so...
Check the group photo section of chapter 6. There's a video in there too.
Yeah.
But this happens to everybody.
Yeah.
People never line up, so you focus at the first person and then everybody else is out of focus.
So you need to have them step away from the background so that the background's blurry. And then you want a higher f-stop so that they're both in focus, which means they have to be even farther from the backdrop because you don't want the backdrop in focus, like we were saying.
Yeah.
And then you need more light from the front.
You know what else I figured out?
What?
They're at 1/15 of a second. And that's because this person bought continuous lights. I see so many people who get tricked into buying continuous light setups, but you want our strobes because continuous lights are cheaper and they seem attractive and it seems like it'll do the same thing, but you just don't get enough light to get a fast exposure. And it's also not bright enough to even fill in the shadows on their face.
A flash with a diffuser would have worked better for them.
Yeah, so please don't buy continuous lights for photography. I have a whole chapter in this in the photography buying guide, but people don't read it and then they go and they buy the wrong kit.
But Tony, it's like $8.
Would have saved them all that money. Very, very pretty landscape. I love the reflections of the water here.
I think the saturation in the sky is too high.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess those...
It looks fake to me.
You know, I just want to make these reflections a little more prominent. And I don't mind seeing this tree a little bit closer to the edge. Chelsea wants the saturation just dropped overall.
No, not overall. I don't think we can undo it now. Once people saturate stuff, we can't.
It never looks right.
No, you can't take it back.
I don't know
but
why.
It looks like they changed the color and. But other than that, I mean, that's easy. They can just go back and dial it back a little bit.
You agree with the crop to make the reflection more prominent?
Yeah, good on you.
And at the time, getting a little closer and low to the reflection would have worked too. Good settings. All right, nice snowy landscape. I like the inclusion of the
those
fence
snowy
here.
trees in the background.
Nice lines, yeah. Very pretty. A little splash of color from these guys here.
I see.
A llama there would be nice.
Oh my God, I love llamas. Let me see. Yeah, I like the little splash of color. That might even look good in like sepia or something. Oh, I like it. Nice photo. Beautiful sky, but the foreground is too dark.
Yeah, you know, we're a little at odds here because we have something in the foreground, but it's not lit or compelling really.
Yeah.
What you might do instead is just step out off the cliff about 10 feet. Okay, don't endanger yourself. But if we can't get something interesting in the foreground, it might be better just to make it a straight landscape. And then maybe the saturation's a little too high again.
Yeah. I know, since it's really beautiful and then you capture it and it never looks like it did in person in your camera, but saturating the picture, it just doesn't work for some reason. This is very colorful.
Yeah, I think this is a nice, thoughtful picture. Very geometric. You know, we have squares and lines and kind of framing here. I like
all
it.
of the texture and the shadows and the layers. Cool picture.
Yeah, I think that really works. Nicely done.
If they had been a little bit higher and pointing down, we would have seen the ring.
Yeah, you know, I think...
Because the focal point right now is her pinky, the tip of her pinky, and her bracelet.
Yeah, it's tough, but especially during a wedding, because you don't know exactly how their hands are going to be positioned.
Yeah.
So take the shots you can, and then later just ask them to pose, recreate the moment a little bit.
Yeah, you can do that. That's a little bit cheesy.
Stage it. I want to raise those shadows a little bit.
Yeah, because their eyes are really black.
Show some detail
like
on their
little
eyes.
Demon ducks.
Yeah, the eyes are the most important shot. Most important part of the shot. Otherwise, I think it's really cute. It looks like they're both in focus. Beautiful colors.
I agree. Statue?
1/1000th is a little fast. An ISO 640. You could have definitely shot that at like, you have an IS lens. You could have shot that at 1/90th, certainly. Gotten ISO 100. All right, statue silhouettes. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like the unusual crop and everything. A nice colorful background.
Yeah, this
cool.
Maybe a little more distance here. It's a little uncomfortable the way it's touching the edge.
Makes a good thumbnail. Bill Tucker.
It does make a good
thumbnail.
thumbnail.
A long exposure would have really worked here because it would have made the water nice and smooth and feathery.
Yeah, you might find a different angle on this too, like maybe raising up some so we can see some depth. It's kind of flat the way it is.
There's a lot of cool shapes. You know what might work here? B and W.
BW.
Wait, what happened? Come on.
There you go.
Then you've got to just play with these. I don't know. You know what I mean. But anyway, I think a long exposure would have really worked.
Yeah.
But he had a vision, and I see it, Bill. I'm there with you.
All right, next to last picture.
I feel like I'm flying with the seagull.
You're right. It's kind of cool that way. We misfocus a little bit. This happens all the time. The camera just focuses on the near wing. Just take lots of pictures and delete most of them.
This is like one of my favorite bird pictures.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I like the way these guys are kind of stacked in the background.
Yeah, it's cool.
You can completely eliminate the noise here in the background. Blues in the sky, even if you shoot at ISO 100, they're going to be noisy. But just check Chapter 8, Editing Wildlife Photos, and there's a video that will show you how to fix that in Lightroom. Giant Dipper, San Diego.
This is a fun one.
Yeah, I like that the lines are leading here.
In the future, just put your camera like up against the fence, and then you won't see it in your picture.
Yeah, see how there's no fence visible here? I think this is in shadow, and this stuff is catching the light. So if there's a way you can block the light from hitting the fence, you can just put your
hand up too.
It will disappear. Yeah. So get closer.
Yep.
And kind of use your free hand or a hat or something to put the part of the fence that's in the frame in shadow, if there's any less, and then it will just completely disappear.
But it's still a cool shot.
Very
I don't
cool
think
shot.
It ruined the shot.
No, not at all.
It's very cool. Maybe to even add some depth to the shot.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's go.
A bonus picture.
A bonus picture?
Well, because I was saying that was going to be the last one.
Oh, I wasn't even listening.
That's all right. This will be our last one.
Wait, this is familiar. Oh, we looked at someone's
someone
portfolio.
Yeah. This is a really cool shot. I love the grittiness of it. This is the perfect use for HDR.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love the composition of it.
Can we just go one more?
Yeah.
Because look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
This looks like the beginning of one of those disaster movies.
Yeah, I bet an alien's going to
come
down.
Like a tsunami comes. They always go right. The aliens always go right for the landmarks.
I know. Aliens are jerks like that.
Fantastic. I love the sky in that picture. A long exposure would have worked nicely here too, because I think
people would have been moving.
People blurring. Yeah. Bring that ND filter with you if you're going to be shooting in crowded places, and a tripod.
Cool.
All right.
We did it.
Submit your own pictures at sdbcommunity.com. You need to have bought Stunning Digital Photography, the book, or our DVD series, or Blu-ray. You can get them all right at stunningdigitalphotography.com.
sdpcommunity.com.
Oh, right.
It's affordable. Don't tell me the video's too long.
See you next week.